Nice to see somebody following the microphone this time around.
Well, this one is Katie to pick things up.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we took 1 minute. 1 minute. I'm not just gonna, I mean, accept it, say, we're violating my rights. I have a right to self-esteem. And if you, you know, if you really are a mother, and you may want to be there for years.
That same fly
Or you should just want to keep doing it.
that same fly
Rather than, I kind of,
fly. It's still the same one. It's dead.
not a good home. My dad was in the military, I think just 2 years, but he never got home. Because that whole lot of special things they do for us. I'm gonna go get my free dinner.
I'm gonna go ahead and turn it around. Daniel hasn't showed up.
Okay.
yet, so I can't admit him.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. How many cars you got there? Okay.
It's one.
Okay. Yes, is that a good view for you guys?
That looks fine.
Call to order, roll call.
Henry,
Present.
Jackson, Moberly,
Here.
Fearless,
Here.
Racick, Scott,
Here.
Smith, Wilson,
All right, we're gonna start this meeting off. Is the sheriff here? Could you come forward, Kent? up to the microphone there. Well,
I don't think you need to speak in.
Just there? Okay, will that do it? So, what? What's that?
The X.
Oh, I need to stand at the end.
It'll pick you up, Clayton said.
I appreciate the opportunity to address the council. I wanted to do that last Friday, but didn't get that accomplished. I want to share with you a couple things. First and foremost, I support mask wearing. I think it's very important. As many of you know, my wife has some immune issues, so we're very protective of that. Have been since the onset of this virus. However, I disagree with the mandate. I think that's maybe not appropriate. It kind of plays to how much of our liberties we may give up in that process. With that, I think this is a personal responsibility. Quite frankly, I have imposed mask mandates at our place of work. We can have them. Everybody wears a mask if they're outside the work area because we have COVID cases within the facility. Up until then, we only require jail staff to wear it, but we have implemented that throughout our building. And I think that's where that's responsibility lies. I think the responsibility is with each individual business, each individual organization to impose those mandates with their employees where they may feel that is appropriate. In Windsor, Missouri, last week, Wednesday or Thursday night, they had a town hall meeting with social distancing, I think. People wearing masks, and they asked the community what they wanted to do with mandate. They did not have an ordinance before them. This meeting was only to discuss the issue and was to move forward with that ordinance. And after 2.5 hours of listening to their citizens, the council voted 3-3. And the mayor broke the tie to move forward with looking at an ordinance. I don't know whether it's going to pass or not, but then that raises an issue for us, much as Chief Miller talked about last week. What do we do in regards to enforcement? We're going to write tickets. We're going to take people at their word if they have asthma or some health condition or something that excuses them from wearing a mask. How are we going to address that as law enforcement? I truly believe that we will see an influx of calls from the mask wearers, those who support that, for the non-mask wearers from the mask community. I think those calls will happen, and the issue becomes what do we as law enforcement do with those calls? How do we handle it? We're going to cite folks. We're going to cite them and make them bring in their medical records into court to defeat the process because they do have some legitimate medical issue, a health issue, or something, or we're just going to say, well, that's great, you have asthma, see you later, move on to the next person to address the issue of why they didn't have masks. So I think there's problems with the mandate for masks, and I would certainly appreciate the council looking at it. Speaking not only to the sheriff, but I live in the city limits of Clinton County for a number of years, and represented by Mr. Wilson and Ms. Smith on the council. Thank you.
thank you, Ken. Okay, we're going to let people speak. When I call your name, I want you to come forward, announce your name, if you're a Clinton resident. Let us know that. Okay, I'm going to start out with Corey Mantonia.
Mayor, how long do they have to speak?
1 minute.
Corey Antonio, I live in Missouri. Main thing is, I'm not telling you this kid to wear a mask. I'm not telling you this kid to wear a mask. My opinion is my opinion. And if that is to go across the whole deal here, why should anybody else in the should wear a mask when I shouldn't? No one can prove that they're good for you. No one can prove that they're bad for you. You see 50-50 all the way across the board, whether it's good or it's not. So if no one knows exactly what they're good or bad for you, how much you wear them, and how can you make us wear them? For two, are you going to go into a restaurant? You're sitting there like that, you're going to go, hey, you eat your food like that. You're going to give that guy a ticket for sitting here eating his meal? I don't understand how you guys plan on doing that. Anywhere anybody's eating in this town is going to be at risk of a ticket. Makes no sense. Makes no sense whatsoever. You'll walk in with your mask on, you'll sit there and take it off, and you're reaching in each one of your different spots at every restaurant. Or, if you get a close restaurant down, and I'm sure everybody would be happy to have all the restaurants closed down the county. That's all I have.
Thank you. Roy Payne. Can everybody hear me?
Now, basically, we can't hear anybody speaking with a mask on.
Okay.
And you won't have any trouble hearing me. My name is Roy Payne. I'm the pastor of a local church. I am against the mask mandate. I believe in freedom of personal responsibility, like America was when I was young, when we didn't have to tell everybody to do things that were common sense. I believe that this mandate, any mandate to wear masks, is both unconstitutional and unenforceable. I agree with the sheriff on that point. I don't think there's any way that you can enforce this kind of thing. I would also say, as the gentleman who preceded me said, that the statistics, my mother was fond of saying that figures don't lie, but liars do figure. You can always find something to support your point of view one way or the other. But I've been reading a lot of information by the CDC and by a lot of virologists who have said that mask wearing do not keep us from getting the virus. I was talking to a friend the other day who actually holds public office here in Clinton, and we were talking about droplets and how the masks, they keep the droplets from going through. Well, that's wonderful. If you're wearing a mask and your droplet isn't getting on me, that's great. But if you're wearing a mask, my droplet can't get on you if I'm not wearing one. So my point basically is, in America, we have the freedom to be responsible for ourselves. My government is there to protect my rights, not necessarily to protect my health or to tell me what I have to wear on my face.
Okay. Timothy Payne.
I wanted to say, written down, my name is Timothy Payne. I work here in town. I've lived in Clinton for many years. I wrote down what I was going to say because I get nervous and I can't talk straight. I could recite all of the different statistics that everybody else is going to say, and I could tell you how masks don't work, how masks only protect you from droplets, they don't protect you from the viral load in people's breath. I can say all of those things, but the only thing that really needs to be said is this. It is not this local governing body's job to dictate how I take care of mine or my family's health. It is not this local governing body's job to dictate the superficial accessories I choose to wear. And it is most certainly not this governing body's job to tell me I will not be allowed to do business or be out in public unless I bow to their tyranny. Historically, granting any government body tyrant or despot that power required to make these decisions is unwise at best, desperately suicidal at worst. I pray that those in attendance refuse to implement this mandate. Historically, freedom is not safe, and it is not meant to be so. Freedom comes with many risks. But that does not mean we abandon freedom and implement slavery, no matter what greater good is cited. I pray those in attendance remember that it is your job to safeguard our freedoms, not our health. I pray that those law enforcement members in attendance remember we respect you and we care for you and we stand with you 100%. But if this mandate is passed, you need to remember that your oath is to the Constitution, not this governing body. I pray that you will refuse to enforce this unconstitutional attack on America's freedoms. We will not wear others' fear. If you pass this mandate, you will have a fight on your hands. God bless America.
Mark Wilson.
Good. Well said, brother. I'm Mark Wilson. I'm a citizen of Clinton, Missouri, also a veteran. I was trained in chemical, biological, radiological warfare. So I know how masks work and how they don't work. And any amount of research will allow you to Anyway, just my thoughts on this is, I live in a free country, last time I checked. And it is not anyone's responsibility to make sure I'm personally taking care of my own safety, whether I get in and observe I've heard this compared to a seatbelt laws. Well, that's a law. This is a mandate. Do some research. There are differences in those two things. So if you want to make this a law, then you can enforce it legally and by legal means. So go ahead and take that next step if you like. I also hear we're following CDC guidelines. Did you guys know that CDC guidelines, right on their CDC website, says that they can implement a shielding approach? You guys heard of that? Shielding approach. Shielding approach. So basically, they gather up all the sick people in town, or potentially sick people, and they put them in a community center like this. And they say, you're gonna get sick probably with this disease, so we need to protect you from the outside world. And they put everyone in a sick building and say, good luck to you. And they bring in your food and all that stuff. Shielding approach is right on the CDC website. So that's the next step. So if masks don't work, well, my goodness, we need to go to the next step. Move in all your old people and vulnerable people into the community center so we can take care of them and let them die. So anyway, it's a dangerous slope we're on. So I just caution you to use your better judgment here and really think out things logically. So I think I'm up to my minute. Am I up to my minute? Okay. So the only other thing I would ask is actual data from Golden Valley Medical Center. I don't know if they're here or not. How many of these people that are infected currently were actually wearing masks when they got infected? I've never seen a number of them. That'd be great to see. Thank you.
Joshua Town.
Josiah.
Josiah, I'm sorry.
I'm just an analyst that's been my whole life. And for me, this issue is about liberty. We can argue both sides of the statistics and data, and there's just on both sides, and we would be here all day long. But at the end of the day, it comes down to liberty. Will you guys choose to be on the side of liberty or against liberty? You guys should strongly consider whether you're within the law to make this mandate. Thank you.
Rick Bratton.
My name is Rick Bratton. I was just elected to the state senate here for this area, five counties, including Henry County. I am currently an office holder as well. But one thing I would like to speak on is our oath of office as office holders. You know, we put our hand on the Bible, and we swear an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States and the rights of the people in which we serve. Our goal in endgame as elected officials is not to protect people from themselves and to tell them what they are to do and how they are to do it, or we're going to fine you if you don't do what we feel you need to do. That is not our goal. This is an American form of government where you are the protector of the rights of the people in which you ran for office and you swore an oath to God and to the people in this room that you would do that. By forcing people to do this, or you're going to basically make them criminals for doing something that is an infringement on their constitutional rights, their amendment to be secure in the persons of their papers. I mean, the Fourth Amendment is really clear on that. Their First Amendment right to associate, their ability to go and worship freely and speak freely without being muzzled by something on their face is a very big issue. And I think that we have to, as elected bodies, we have to take that oath very seriously. And I think it's a very divisive issue, but it's something that should be at the forefront as an elected official for each and every one here, because that is the oath you made. It's not a campaign promise or something you promise at the door. It's an oath to God and to a document that this country was founded upon. So I think we need to really think seriously before we start implementing this draconian measure of something that is, the science is very very guarded on. So I appreciate your time, and I really hope you really think through on these issues of taking such dramatic steps. So thank you guys.
Okay. Bob, Lucy?
My name is Bob McKay. I live here in Clinton on Mabel. First off, I want to say that you people are in a governmental situation, or position, I mean, that's for the people. If you look around, how many people have masks on? What's that tell you? Secondly, it's been said that the definition of stupidity is making the same mistakes over and over and expecting a different result. March and April, wear a mask, flatten the curve. It didn't. June, July, we stressed the same thing. It didn't. Now you're saying the same thing. Is it going to? Or is this a third mistake? And is it just coincidental that it's always happening around a holiday? You know, I can't wear one. I'm claustrophobic. My wife's got COPD. You make a mask mandate, I can't go to the store. I can't shop in the city. If I can't shop in the city, how many others can't? You're going to close the city down? You guys going to be happy with that? I came from a city that got shut down. Believe me, it ain't pretty. You're going to make an ordinance and fine people? How are they going to pay for it? They're not working. What are you going to do then? Put them in jail? Put them in jail, you're going to be 6 feet apart? I think it's the most stupid thing in the world. I really do. Thank you.
I guess your wife needs to be next, Janet. Since I mispronounced your last name.
Yes, I am his wife, I'm Janet McKay, and I live here in Clinton. I'm a resident. And I'm not going to repeat everything everybody else said. I'm just asking, give us the choice. If you're scared, you'll stay home. If you're that scared, you'll wear the mask. If you're not, let us have the choice.
Yes.
That's all.
Harry Crawford?
Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak. I've been a resident of this town for exactly 3 years. I moved from a very busy city to get away from a lot of foolishness, and I'm glad to be away from it. It's been a privilege to be in this town, but I'm not pleased at all about what is having to be discussed here today. I don't know why it has to be here. I mean, we are away from all that stuff. As far as I know, the United States is still a sovereign nation. The WHO has no authority over us. I have seen no proof, nothing from scientists that say masks are going to stop the virus. And in fact, I only know of one who has control over all of this, and that is God Almighty and Jesus Christ. If COVID is written on my epitaph, it will be done by God alone and not by any individual that I encounter or meet. And I thank you for the opportunity to be a part of this community and for the time to speak. Thank you.
Rick Little?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad to be able to speak before you. I haven't been a resident of Clinton very long, only about 4 or 5 years. But I love this place. You guys, have you thought about what the role of government is? What is your role? There's an awful lot of people who want to extend their role far beyond what it's supposed to be. Your role is to protect us from force and fraud. No more. It's not up to you to decide to protect us from ourselves. It's up to you to protect us from those that would impose their will on us. It's very similar, I think, to what you're trying to do. The Constitution doesn't give you this authority. I worked for Texas Instruments in Dallas, Texas for 31 years. I worked in the research group. I worked in clean rooms and out of clean rooms. We wore masks, but let me tell you, they weren't the masks you're wearing. The masks you're wearing don't stop viruses. A virus is so tiny, so very small. I heard once that there was a guy I was talking to recently who had a good analogy about it. It's like putting up a chain link fence to stop mosquitoes. It's like comparing a baseball to the Empire State Building. Viruses are so tiny. You have to wear a sub-micron filter in order to filter them out. These masks you're wearing are placebos. If they're not an N95, they're doing you no good at all. You're talking about water droplets. I'm talking to you about water molecules. They may ride in on a water molecule. Your mask isn't going to stop that. I just hope that you come to your senses about this before you put a burden on our police department that they can't handle. You're going to put them in a very bad position. There are going to be people down at Walmart who are going to be calling the police because somebody doesn't have a mask on. And they're going to be faced with enforcement of that. And you're going to stretch, they're already stretched beyond their limits. They're trying to force the laws to protect us from force and fraud, not from something silly like this. Now, I hope you're not offended at what I say, because I didn't mean to offend you. I'm a Christian and I don't want to offend you. But God bless America, and I hope you make the right decision.
Nick Harbaugh. My name is Nick. I grew up in this town. I lived in this town. The thing is, I want you all to really think about this. Like between everyone that has come up to this X and spoken to you all. If you will actually do this and force us to wear masks, here's the thing. Are you just going to literally just have the officers just give a person a ticket just for just taking their dog outside to go to the bathroom? Or just to walk to your mailbox and just check your mail? The thing is, like what some of the people here have said, there's some people, they have breathing problems. They have health problems. The biggest thing is I've seen some of these churches, their church memberships are dwindling down. The thing is, I have seen this town come together in the hardest time frames and still be able to come together and still be able to come through all of it. My biggest thing is, here's the thing. To me, these masks won't stop it. Because over at the Door of Hope, me and my wife, we take parenting classes there. Not because we have to, because we choose to. The Door of Hope shut down for 2 weeks. They did all the mandatory stuff that they said. Oh, wear your mask, wash your hands, do your distancing. Every single time I've gone there, they've all done that. 2 people that works there got tested for positive. And the thing was, they were always doing their stuff, doing their distancing, everything. So it shows right there. Doing that, you'll still get it. The only thing is, and this is my own personal belief, I don't know about you all that's on the council or the community. To me, this is the time when the churches need to start and the community needs to start coming together and actually praying that this stuff will end. And there's only one way. It's just praying that God will come and actually end this altogether with this. Because I honestly think this may be coming to a religious category, partly, but to me, the people that don't go to church, they're laughing. Because they're saying, okay, well, the church has got shut down. That's funny. To some people, it's not. But the thing is, it's the reason why there's some people, yes, let the community make their choices of a mask. If they don't want to wear it, don't force it. It'd be just like, well, like you be in school and a teacher would tell you, no, you can't do that, you have to do this. I've been in a classroom with that. Quite a few times. The person sent me to the principal's office quite a few times. I'll admit that. And the principal said one thing. Why are you in here? Well, because the teacher sent me up here. Just for that? Go back to class. Honestly, just let the community make their own decisions. I understand. To be honest, to me, the people of the community is the city, is this town. Because just imagine, what would happen if every single person in this whole Clinton area decided to move out? It would just be like how Windsor's doing. Windsor is dying downtown. Thank you.
Chris Reno.
My name is Chris Reno. I live in Clinton, born and raised here. As you can see, I have a mask on my face. Am I for the mask mandate? Absolutely not. Am I for masks? I believe there is a place in our society for the mask. The CDC, I'm not going to stand up here and preach on civil liberties. The CDC says that the mask recommendation is based on a precautionary principle. The definition of a precautionary principle is a strategy of approaching issues of potential harm when extensive scientific knowledge on the matter is lacking. Okay? However, with no single formulation of that principle has been universally adapted. So what does that mean? Precautionary principle. That means there's no scientific proof of any of it. We're just hoping that it works. However, as a licensed healthcare professional for the state of Missouri, I look at it from the scientific approach, and I look at what other health conditions is it going to cause. Without any proof that this is going to stop the transmission of the virus, the hopes is slowing it. However, if you have contracted the virus and you do not know it, you're asymptomatic, and you wear a mask, it has been scientifically proven that it's going to worsen your condition to the point where you will be hospitalized because of the innate immune system. And I'm not going to stand up here and preach on the innate immune system. Research it. That's all I ask. Research the side effects other than what's listed by the CDC. People will have communication issues. Those can be overcome. However, if you surpass the innate immune response system in the human body, it's going to seriously jeopardize your health. Thank you.
That looks like all of them. It was kind of one-sided today. It was kind of the other way the other day. So, thank you all for coming forward with your thoughts. Okay, now, we're going to do this. We need to have a second reading of previous read bill number 2020-31.
Bill number 2020-31, an ordinance of the city of Clinton establishing a requirement for face coverings to control and reduce the spread of COVID-19.
Mr. Mayor, I move to adopt the second reading of Bill 2020-31.
Second. Any other discussion? Sorry. Some of this new stuff. Let's do a roll call on this one.
Mobley.
Yes.
Carolyn.
Yes.
Raising.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Wilson. Daniel, can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
We're doing roll call to pass the second reading.
I'm voting no.
Henry.
Well, yes, but I do think there are some difficulties with it. I think we need to do what we can do to help, and I think there is some help from the mayor.
Jackson.
Yes.
7 yes, 1 no.
Mr. Mayor, if there be no further business before this body, I move for adjournment.
Second.
Carolyn.
Yeah.
Raising.
Yes.
Yeah.
Smith. Wilson. Daniel, we adjourn.
Yes, thank you.
Henry.
Yes, I know what the motion was, yes.
We're adjourned. Jackson.
Yes.
Mobley.
Yes.
There's the ending, folks.